Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. One of the favorite features that I added to my game Think Guardians was the 3D UI. Basically, when the player goes to inspect the machine, you can see the UI actually show up in the world. Personally, this is something that I think always looks great, having the UI actually in the world as opposed to just an overlay writing on top. This one slight thing actually I think makes the game feel quite a bit more polished. You can make it like this, make it exist in the world with just a slight 3D effect, or you can actually use it for quite a lot more things. The technical term for this is Diegetic UI, that is basically UI that exists inside the world. Very famously, this was used by Dead Space. So we've got a nice little element over here directly inside the character, as well as a nice 3D UI on top of it. The game Firewatch uses it for the map, which I think always looks really great. It's really nice to see a map that is actually in front of the player, and it's actually showcasing everything and fully functional. So this kind of thing is really nice, and thankfully adding it to your game is actually quite easy. So here I am inside an empty project. I really just got a basic scene. And over here, usually you go and right-click on the hierarchy, and over here just add a brand new UI canvas. And as soon as you do that, basically creates a canvas, and over here on the settings, for the render mode, you can leave it as screen space overlay, which is basically just a standard UI, so basically everything is drawn directly on top, basically an overlay on top of your game. And to make it a 3D UI, we'll just go here and just modify it from screen space overlay and make it a world space. And just like that, you can actually see it. So over here for the position, if we put this on 0, 0, put everything down on 0, we can see, yep, there you go, here is our UI right here in the middle of our scene. And then inside the canvas, you can use all the usual UI elements. Over here, I can add a normal UI image. And by default, this one is going to be pretty massive just because 100 units, usually the UI is in pixel space. But if you make the UI in world space, then these are going to be basically world space units. And 100 is a massive amount. So over here, just put this on, let's say 1 and something like 0.2. And like this, if we see, yep, there you go, that one. And we can modify the canvas, put it up there. And then just move it, just put it in front of the camera, and there you go. There's our nice UI, so I can rotate it again, because this is basically a 3D object. And there it is, right there in the middle of our scene. So then we can, of course, play around with all of this. So in this case, make this image darker, put it down there, kind of like this. And there you go, we've got a nice UI. And then, of course, you can use all kinds of UI elements directly inside the canvas. It is a normal canvas, just like any other, so you can add a brand new, let's say, a button. Now this button, again, by default, is going to be pretty massive, so let's put it something pretty small. So the button is right there. So for the button, let's go inside, and for the text, we need to make this quite a bit smaller, like a font of just 1, even that is too big. So again, this is the only thing, is just having to modify the size to make it fit, something like 0.2, something like that. It's like some kind of play button. Then on the button itself, over here, if you're using this kind of thing, if you're using a slice sprite, then over here on the pixels per unit multiplier, again, same thing. Over here, we're working in world space units as opposed to screen space units. So these have to be quite a bit smaller. So over here on the pixels per unit increases by quite a bit. And there you go. We got a nice round button. We'll just increase the height by a little bit. Just position up there. And there you go. It does work. And I can control this like any other UI. So over here on the UI canvas, we can make some kind of simple script. Just a canvas UI 3D. Then here, just attach it. Then the usual thing. So here, really just add a serialized field, private of type button, just the usual Unity engine button for some kind of button. Then private void awake, go onto the button. Let's add an on-click listener. And over here, we can do whatever we want. So run just debug.log saying something like this. And yep, that's it. Then over here, we can really just drag the reference because again, these are all just normal UI elements. They really just exist in the world. That is really the only difference. So over here, I can drag this reference. There you go. However, there's still one thing we need to do. But over here, if I hit on play, so here, if I mouse over the play button, it is actually not changing the color, which is a default behavior by the button. But over here, that does not appear to be working. But if I click on it, yeah, there you go. The button does work. It is clickable. So we've got the messages over there. So for that thing, that is only one thing missing. Only one thing we need to do, which is over here on the canvas. So for the UI setup, so we modified it to make it world space. And if we want the events to work, we have this nice little warning here telling us we do need to assign an event camera. So in this case, we just have the main camera. So we're only just going to attach that one. So there you go, the main camera over here on the player. Just attach it, and if I hit on play, over here, if I mouse over, yep, there you go, that one does change color. I can click, everything works fine. So we've got a nice world space UI. And over here, again, this is really just a 3D object. So I can position this anywhere I want, and everything still works, still clickable. Here's a simple scene that I built. Really just got a bunch of cameras so I can move them around. And on each of those, they really got some kind of UI element that exists in the world. So over there, there's that element. So I can zoom in, click that one, zoom in. This one has some text, and this one over here also has some things. And yep, like this UI seems quite a bit more interesting as opposed to just being all just an overlay. Over here, I can place it in the world and make it feel quite a bit more unique. This demo scene over here, this one is from the Gang Warfare pack. This is Synthi pack. I'm always a big fan of their style. So if you're interested, check it out in the link in the description. And yep, here it is, a fully working 3D UI. And of course, then you can combine this with all other things. Like for example, in my game, so I've got this, but then I also have it fully playable with a gamepad. So if you want to combine both those things, you can check out this tutorial that I made on how to add a virtual mouse cursor with a gamepad. And with that, you can basically have a gamepad. That gamepad actually controls a virtual cursor, and everything interacts with everything just the same as if it was a mouse. So if you want to see this effect in action, check out my game Thinking Gardens on Steam, or go ahead and just add it to your own projects. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide on how to make games, check out my free complete courses. For beginners, I've got my Kitchen Chaos course. It is 10 hours teaching you all about Unity game development. Or if you're preferring more technical path, check out my C# course. This one is 12 hours long and covers everything from the language, everything from beginner to intermediate to advanced. There's a free video on YouTube, and then there's a premium version with a bunch of awesome bonuses, like a companion project with actual interactive exercise for every lecture in the course you can learn by doing. And if you're already on the intermediate level and you want to take your skills to the next level, then check out my problem solving course. This one is focused on teaching you the most valuable skill of all. It's a very practical course with all kinds of exercises that you can do in order to gain tons of experience so you can gain this knowledge. This one also has a free version over here on YouTube and a premium version containing all the over 200 problems for you to solve in order to gain this really valuable skill. Check out all my free courses with the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.